Greetings, heroes, and welcome to our February book club on the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, a classic by Stephen Covey. We're going to jump right in and do the first two habits today. So, habit one, be proactive. The first chapter is sort of the setup for the entire system, and Stephen Covey and his son both said if you don't have this, you're not going to have anything else. If you are watching this video, you probably are already being fairly proactive, so I'm not going to go into this a lot except to say that we all have situations where we're still more reactive than we need to be. If you don't have a copy of the book, please look up the PDF that comes with the Audible version or contact us at the Morning Hero so you get these. The graphics in this book are super important. So, Covey talks about your circle of influence versus your circle of concern. For most of us, our circle of influence is going to be smaller than our circle of concern. The only time you see a circle of influence greater than the circle of concern is, celebrities, people who might be able to influence way more people or way more issues than they actually care about. But this is going to be pretty spot on. So, what you don't want to do is get into this area here where you're concerned and you're putting a lot of energy there, but you can't have any influence over it. There's no point. It's wasted energy. And for me, one place that hits home is watching the news. Most of the time, when I watch the news, I may be concerned about it, but there's little, if anything, I can do about it. So that's just wasted energy. And I'm personally trying to cut back on the amount of news that I watch just because it gets me riled up, but I can't do anything about it. So, being proactive, you will grow your circle of influence. And at the same time, you want to try to reduce your circle of concern, like we talked about. So, in an ideal world, they would, perfectly uh, be the same circle. So that's one place you want to look at is where can you reduce your concern or how can you increase your circle of influence? Typically, your circle of influence is only going to increase when you're positive. People don't want to listen to negative people. And so this is a really good breakdown. I love this slide. How reactive people act. They have a large circle of concern and a small circle of control. They waste their energy thinking about sex lives of celebrities, the news, the economy, what other people think, other people's political views, natural disasters, the weather, war, weapons, terrorism. But what they can actually influence is where they live, where they work, what they read, what they buy. So this shows increasing your circle of control, which is things like your attitude, businesses you start, where you travel, leadership positions, skills you learn, articles and books that you write. So proactive people have a small circle of concern and a large circle of control. A lot of time and energy is focused on issues that are within their control. Covey also talks about the PPC balance. I hate the acronyms for this, it's very confusing, but it's basically your results and your ability to create results, or the golden egg and the goose. And they really do need to be in balance. If you're never getting the results, if you're never getting the golden egg, if you're constantly just storing and delaying gratification, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to give up. But of course, as is in the story of the golden goose, if you just keep grabbing the eggs and eventually slaughter the goose or wear out, whether it's your body, your equipment, your relationship, just trying to reap the benefits, that's not going to work either. So you need to find that balance of investing in the future and also getting the results now. Let's go on to habit two, begin with the end in mind. This one is so important. I love Covey's quote here. If the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place faster. How many people do you know who do that? They're going very fast, they're working very hard, but you can tell they don't know where they're going. They're just working. Don't do that. I've talked about this in years past. What would your life look like if you trained in your business or whatever your one thing is right now, like you were an Olympic athlete? So for me, what would Olympic athlete performance look like in commercial real estate? If I were on the same kind of training schedule, the same regimen, if I were that disciplined. And if you talk to Olympic athletes, I remember even when I was training for swim team, there's a lot of visualization that goes on, a lot of using your head. So I gave a talk on this at our last meetup at Harry's house when we did the cold plunge challenge. In working on the 12-week year, is your success concrete enough that it's going to get you through those tough times, because there are going to be times when you're going to wake up, you're going to feel good, and you're going to feel like doing your cold calling or your workout or whatever your thing is. But there are going to be times when you're going to get up and you aren't going to feel like it. You're going to be sore, you're going to be stiff, you're going to be tired. And if you don't have a clear and super compelling vision, you're going to falter. So, what can you do today? What can you do right now to make that vision, that thing that you want, that thing that you're working for, more concrete, more compelling? Can you make a vision board? Can you write a paragraph? One of the things I've talked about in this 12-week year that we're working on is I want to go see a Broadway show called Parade that's going to be on stage in New York for the first time in 20 years with two actors I love. I've never gotten to see it. So I'm starting to make that as my reward when I meet my 12-week year goals. So part of what I'm doing to make that concrete is looking up ticket prices, looking up flights, looking up hotels, and really envisioning what it's going to be like to sit in that audience, how thrilling it's going to be, the tears that are going to go down my face when I hear these songs I love. What do you need to do? How can you put that vision in front of you every damn day? Are there pictures you can put in front of you? Are there things you can research? Do you need to write out paragraphs? Do you need to make dedications and make this real and plan with other people? What can you do to visualize that goal in a way that's going to carry you through the day to day of doing your one thing? So it is time for journal and discussion. If you're in one of our mastermind groups, we're going to do this right now. If not, please leave us comments wherever you see this. In what areas of your life are you more reactive than proactive, and what can you do to change it? And number two, how can you visualize success more concretely? All right, heroes, thanks so much for sharing some time with me. Coach Rick here, looking forward to talk to you soon.